This year in the NFL has been absolutely wild and wacky, and this AFC wildcard race has only further proved that statement as correct. As of right now, only one team has clinched and 3 teams have been eliminated, and all these teams are in the contention for maybe clinching a playoff spot or ending up getting eliminated altogether, and I'm not including the Raiders or Chargers, because let's be real, they're not going to make it. And the 2-seed Dolphins and the 3-seed Chiefs are 1 win away, or 2 wins away, I don't know, but they're very close to clinching a playoff spot. You've read the title and thumbnail. We're going to be going over the insane AFC wildcard race. First up is the Jacksonville Jaguars, and what the heck happened? Entering the season, I thought this team was a dark horse to win the Super Bowl, and through 11 games, they looked like a Super Bowl team, but recently, they've been crapping the bed. They're 8-6 now, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. The losing skid started against the Bengals, which they should have won. Backup quarterback Jake Browning was playing in that game, and they should have beaten him. I know Trevor Lawrence got hurt in that game as well, but they should have beaten the Bengals, and more on Jake Browning later. Next, they played the Browns, which they should have won as well. They're playing backup quarterback Joe Flacco, who's making his second start with the team, and the week prior, he got blown up by the Rams, but no. Joe Flacco went off and proved that he was elite once more, and they lost to the Browns. And then last Sunday night, they lost against the Ravens, which, well, they should have lost that game. There's no surprise there, but they had their opportunities to score and change the tide of that game. This week, they're playing the 7-7 Bucks, and the Bucks are kind of hot as well, but I think they have a chance to win that game. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on with the Jags. They got a good offense, and they got a good defense. Hopefully for them, they can pick it back up. Next up is the Cleveland Browns, who have the 5th seed, and they have the highest record of any team in this video, sitting at 9-5. This team is interesting because despite their record, they've been cycling through quarterbacks this entire season, mainly because Deshaun Watson got injured and he's out for the season, ending the season without a happy ending. So after that, they tried out their luck with XFL legend PJ Walker, but that didn't go well. So they tried rookie quarterback from UCLA, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and that hasn't gone well either. So they recently picked up Joe Flacco, and he hasn't been looking bad. And in fact, he looks elite again. Not only that, but they've been playing most of the season without their star running back Nick Chubb, as he underwent a very sad knee injury in week 2, which caused him to be out for the season. This defense is the main reason why this team is sitting at 9-5, and you also got to give credit to head coach Kevin Stefanski. Next up is the Bengals, and this might be the craziest story in the NFL right now. Just a month ago, this team was sitting at 5-5, and not only that, Joe Burrow was out for the season with a wrist injury, and all hope seemed lost. It seemed like this season was dead. And the next week, when they lost to the Steelers, that seemed to be the final nail in the coffin. But after an upset win against the Jags on Monday Night Football, they've been on a hot streak as they beat the Colts and the Vikings, and Jake Browning is on an Linsanity type run. The Bengals have 3 games left, and they're going to be hard games, but I think they can win all these games, or at least 2 of them. Next up is the 7th seed Indianapolis Colts, and there's a recurring theme in this video with backup quarterbacks. I say this because rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson was out for the season after just a few games, and in the few games he played, he looked really good and had a shot to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. So it's a big bummer. But the only good thing about this is that we get Gardner Minshew, baby. Minshew mania. But Gardner Minshew, he's been alright. He's thrown for a little under 3,000 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. But so far, the Colts are 8-6. But if you look at the Colts' remaining games, it's very likely they make the playoffs, depending on if CJ Stroud comes back, and by that point, I'd assume he will. Next up is the Houston Texans, and it all depends if CJ Stroud is healthy or not. 2 weeks ago against the Jets, they somehow got blown out that game, but also in that game, CJ Stroud suffered a concussion, and he missed last week's game and will most likely miss this game against the Browns, which is huge. Last week against the Titans, Case Keenum went for 229 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, and escaped with a victory. Unless Case Keenum can turn back the clock to 2017, I don't see how the Texans are going to win next week against the Browns. By the way, imagine telling someone before the season that Case Keenum and Joe Flacco would be fighting for a playoff spot in 2023. These guys' careers were over 5 years ago. That's insane. Next up, we have the first 7-7 team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. This team is strange because they have a very good defense, and just a few weeks ago, they were sitting at number 5, but now they're sitting outside of the playoff race, and they look like I'm not even gonna lie, they just look bad right now. They've lost 3 straight games. They started 7-4 and now they're 7-7, and all 3 of these losing games have been filled with bad quarterback play. Honestly, I don't even know how they've lost these games. Kenny Pickett suffered a concussion in the Cardinals game, and Mitch Trubisky stepped in, and he's been playing awful. He's mainly the reason why they've lost 3 straight. They have 3 games left in the season for all teams, and games begin tomorrow and Saturday, and who knows, any of these teams can make the playoffs. So if you feel like it, comment down below who you think will make the playoffs.